Hello again, homebrewers. Welcome back to Brews. If you're anything like me, cleaning is one of your least favourite parts of brewing. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Kegland Bucket Blaster, a system that claims to make cleaning kegs easier than ever. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. Okay, so first off, what actually is the Kegland Bucket Blaster? This is a recirculating cleaning system that has been designed to be used with kegs, carboys, and other small fermentation vessels. It includes a submersible pump, a base and frame that fits into the small bucket which is included with it, plus a vertical pipe, nozzle, and ball lock disconnects which you can run the cleaning solution into your vessel from. The idea is simple. Put your cleaning solution into the bucket with the pump inside, place your keg or fermenter upside down on top of the frame, and let the blaster do the dirty work of cleaning for you. So the setup is pretty straightforward. The box includes a manual with the obligatory spelling mistake for Chinese produced goods, and it doesn't actually include the instructions in that manual. You have to scan a QR code to access that information, which you can see here. You will need to cut the provided tubing into 3 roughly equal lengths, but other than that, it is all simple screw-on fittings and push-fit connectors which go together pretty easily. Next, you'll place your pump and frame inside the bucket, add your favourite cleaning solution. Today I'm going to be demonstrating it using a solution of sodium percarbonate, which is the main active ingredient in a lot of cleaning products like PBW, for example. You can then hook up your keg or FV to the gas and liquid posts with the disconnects if required, place it on top of the bucket and frame, switch it on, and boom, off it goes, cleaning your vessel for you. My first test was with a keg, which as you can see had a fairly typical level of residue in it after draining away the beer dregs. This came up sparkling clean after less than 5 minutes on top of the washer and did a really good job. It was also reassuring to know that the cleaning product was getting pumped through the dip tube and the disconnects at the same time, so it was cleaning all of the different areas of the keg during that period. After that, I put it up against the Apollo snub nose, which as you can see had a fairly significant kind of krausen ring left on it after I'd drained out all of the yeast and trub from the fermenter. After 5 minutes, it was making a bit of progress, but there was still quite a lot of gunk stuck to the sides. So at that point, I disconnected the gas and liquid posts on the lid, which was inside the bucket, kind of cleaning through those, because that allowed it to push a little bit more pressure through the main pipe. And it was noticeable that that did make the kind of jet coming up from the top a little bit more powerful. I left that for about another 10 minutes, but after that period, so about 15 minutes in total, there was still quite a bit of residue left on the sides of the fermenter. So at this point, I went back to employing a little bit of elbow grease and just got stuck in with a soapy sponge to remove the leftovers. So having tried it out in the 2 kind of main scenarios that I would be looking to use it in, this is what I would summarise as the kind of pros and cons of this product. Certainly in terms of keg cleaning, I think it will save you quite a bit of time and effort. When I'm cleaning kegs, I've got to, pick them up by hand and shake them around with cleaning product in them. Whereas this, you can just set the keg on top of it and leave it to do its thing and go off and do other stuff. So bit of a time-saving thing. Might not necessarily make the process a huge amount quicker, but you can obviously get on and do other stuff and set up a kind of cleaning line of kegs that are running through the different stages. So that's definitely a positive for me. It is getting into kind of hard to reach places with the kegs. You can't physically get inside the keg easily to clean the base of the keg. So first of all, it's reaching that area, and also it is cleaning through the gas and liquid posts and the dip tubes and stuff as well, a lot more thoroughly than necessarily it would be if you were trying to do that in some kind of manual way without the pump. Obviously, you can use this to clean other things, so it is multi-purpose, so that's a bit of a positive. Didn't necessarily do the best in terms of cleaning the FVs for me, but you can still use it on buckets and other containers that you're using for cleaning. So as long as you've got something that's big enough underneath it so that the liquid isn't just going to pour down the sides and all over the floor, you can use it for pretty much anything that you want to. On that note, it does keep that cleaning process kind of self-contained within the bucket. The liquid is recirculating through that. When I'm doing it by hand, I do tend to end up making quite a bit of mess with cleaning liquid getting spilled all over the place and having to pour away the dregs and all the rest of it. So I think it is generally a little bit cleaner and tidier way of cleaning kegs and so on as well. I do also like the fact that the system is quite compact. So once you remove the top pipe, it can kind of all pack away inside the bucket, and that's relatively small. So this is a sort of 14-15 litre size bucket, quite small, compact. You can tidy that away fairly easily. I would also say that at the price point that I got it for, it's pretty affordable and reasonably good value as well. So what about the cons? Well, as you saw with me cleaning the keg versus the fermenter, I think the fact that the pipe directs pretty much most of the energy straight up into the vessel you're cleaning means that it works really well with kegs where most of the gunk is going to be at the base, which is going to be directly facing that. When it comes to FVs and things where probably more of the build up and particularly krausen rings and stuff is going to be around the sides of the vessel, that's maybe not going to clean as effectively because the liquid is kind of dribbling down the sides at that point and it's not necessarily carrying that much sort of energy to blast away the krausen and other things that are stuck to the sides. As such, and in the case that I demonstrated, you're probably going to need to get stuck in with a sponge if you've got any particularly difficult to remove residue from that. Another minor complaint that I had, the stand and the bucket, because they are fairly small, with the taller kegs, if you haven't got it set quite right on the stand, it can be a little bit unstable. So there is the potential there for it to sort of topple over if you're not careful. So just be aware of that. And obviously, if that is the case, you are going to end up making quite a mess with cleaning products and everything going all over the place. So probably a good idea to not leave it completely unattended, I would say, just in case that happens. So not something that I've demonstrated in the video, but another disadvantage with this is obviously foaming products are going to probably cause you a bit of a problem in terms of just generating a massive, foamy mess if you're running foaming cleaning products through it. Even things like Star San, if you're leaving that kind of running for a long period, it's probably going to generate a lot of foam coming out of the bucket, and you may end up making a bit of a mess by doing it that way. So my final verdict on the Kegland Bucket Blaster, is it worth it? I think that does depend on the equipment that you're using. If you have lots of kegs and you're going to be cleaning kind of multiple kegs at one time, then I think it's definitely a really useful gadget to have, and it is going to kind of change your cleaning process for the better quite significantly, saving time and effort expended on doing that. I'm going to find it very useful when I'm cleaning multiple kegs for that reason, I think. If you don't have that many kegs or you're not kegging at all, and if you're looking at it as a way to clean fermentation vessels and things like that, I think you're probably in a lot of cases going to end up having to get involved doing a bit of cleaning by hand anyway afterwards in some cases, so it's maybe not quite as effective. Now, perhaps if I had left it running on the FV for a little bit longer, maybe 30 minutes or something like that, then it might have eventually removed all of that kind of residue from the krausen ring. But to be honest, if I can get in there and just do that job by hand in sort of 5 minutes or less, then I'd rather do that than have that pump running for half an hour when I've still kind of got to be around to monitor that and, switch it off at the end and all the rest of it. Now, I will caveat that by saying that you might see different performance based on the type of cleaning product that you use, and that there are other accessories like spray balls that you could add to it that might make it more effective for cleaning FVs by redirecting the cleaning product more directly at the areas that you want to clean up, particularly in the case of fermentation vessels. The malt miller recommend Enzy Brew as a good cleaning product to use with this system. I wanted to demonstrate it as it is out of the box and review it out of the box using a cleaning product like sodium percarbonate that a lot of homebrewers are probably utilising in that form or in other cleaning products which use it as the main active ingredient. Overall, for me personally, I think it's a pretty solid investment. I'm definitely going to get good use out of it cleaning my kegs. I'm probably mainly going to be using it for that and maybe not bother so much using it for the fermentation vessels for the reasons that I've just explained. I am aware that you can kind of purchase most of the component parts for this type of system and put one together yourself and potentially save yourself a little bit of money doing it that way. I've seen a lot of people online kind of posting their own sort of DIY versions of it, which is great. But I think, again, at this price point, it still represents good value for something that's going to work kind of straight out the box and deliver all of that for you without you having to worry about getting all the right connectors and things like that. And I think once you add in disconnects and piping and all the other bits and pieces, then you're probably not going to be saving a huge amount of money, but your mileage may vary on that one. So if you put together your own system and you think it's a much cheaper or better alternative, drop a comment in below. So that's it for the review today. If you found it useful, do make sure that you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And yeah, jump into the comments, particularly if you are using a bucket blaster already or a similar system. Let me know what you think about it, if you've got any questions about the review today. And yeah, just jump in and tell me what you think. Cheers, everyone.
I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, that or his dudeness or duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.